So it looks like the YouTube Nextup thing, that was the global planetary time-lapse project, crashed and burned, and given the proposed scoring mechanism and the fact that it was in the top 3 in terms of views and ratings and so on, I have to wonder that if, in the meantime, putting all those videos out, proactively burning Qurans, the sort of thing that can end up in riots, buildings, burnings, killings, and the such like, was a significant factor. But I knew all of that before I made these videos. I just judged it to be an acceptable, if painful, potential loss. However, it did once again get me thinking about the future, specifically of this channel. For those who haven't been paying attention, YouTube's changed. The YouTube you're on now is almost unrecognizable from the YouTube that existed 4 or so years ago. And I'm not just talking about the superficial changes to the front end. It's now an increasingly competitive, attention-based economy. And the slow gazelles are always the first to get thinned from such a herd. Now that was the religious sorts, but that's a good thing. That sets the precedent that on a level playing field, the internet is simply a place where the religions get fed to the lions, even if that's not yet significantly bled through to the religious demographics in countries like the US. However, more recently, the rationalist community has been suffering that same atrophy of starvation in a harsher and more intensive environment. I mean, just look at my subscriptions here. There has been a slow attrition of rationalists, and those that remain put out videos less and less frequently. I put this primarily down to there being far more competition for views on YouTube. The bar is continually raising, and in order to remain competitive, you have to put more time into it. And for many, it was fun when you could do it as a hobby, and do well in a relatively uncompetitive environment. But now, they won't, or can't invest the time necessary to stay competitive. To compound this, YouTube promotes videos from its partners with adverts on. The playing field is no longer truly level. Tough choices lie ahead if you want to remain competitive in such an attention-based economy and on such a playing field. Further, while I accept that if you're going to say controversial things in a public arena, then you can expect to draw some criticism, I'm continually perplexed by how you highlight the stupidity of the Catholic Church, and it's the Catholics that try and defend it. You highlight the stupidity of creationism or Christianity, and it's creationists and Christians who try to defend it. And then you highlight the stupidity of Islam, and almost 100% of those who come to its defense are atheists. And sure, inevitably with size, you're going to pick up some parasites. Folks whose existence is essentially entirely composed of feeding off the host. I mean, just to highlight this, I put up some cute time-lapse about crossing the Atlantic in 20 seconds, and 95% of the video responses are shameless parasites. That's a pretty hardcore infestation. Look, criticism is one thing, but having people wish you were dead.
I wish that you had died of peritonitis 5 years ago.
Even if it's superficially hidden under the guise of jest.
The best thing you can do on the War on Terror is execute people like Thunderfoot and Pat Condell.
Can make running a channel a pretty thankless task. I mean, I've personally accepted that as a public figure, folk get to say what the hell they want about me. Even if it's in proxy of an argument, I've injected myself into the public forum, and that essentially makes me fair game. But my family are not in the public arena. They are not public figures. They are not fair game. And to be honest, trying to get at someone through their family is beyond reprehensible.
Okay, Thunderfoot. I'm not just saying fuck you anymore. I'm telling you, Thunderfoot, that I fucked your mum. Okay? Your mum's a fucking whore who burns in hell, and I fucking fucked her in hell, and I'm gonna fuck her again. I fucked your fucking mum up the fucking ass in hell. Fuck you, Thunderfoot. Fuck you!
We're all someone's daughter or someone's son. Everyone can empathise that trying to hurt someone through proxy of the bloodline is the last act of a shamelessly despicable coward who has nothing else to bring.
Try to tell your father, but he told me that it wasn't your dad. Your dad.
He disowned you.
Well, actually, in these folks' case, they do have something else to bring. Using in all earnestness a verbatim Kirk Cameron PCS-style argument in defence of, yeah, you guessed it, Islam.
The gold digger, just thought you should know.
Ooh, I got some news for you now.
Islamic scholars have made some of the most important advances in reason and science in all of human history.
Found in the fossil record. It then presents a balanced view of creationism with information from scientists who actually believe that God created the universe, such as Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Copernicus, Bacon, Faraday, Louis Pasteur.
This is what I mean. Why is it always atheists that come to the defense of Islam? And yeah, these are the same folk that had a feeding frenzy when the concept was introduced that if you want a competitive channel like this one which has the true freedom to vocally address controversial subjects that would be the kiss of death for commercial funding, it's going to have to be supported by other mechanisms. Sure, I could turn this channel into a vanilla, unoffensive, and commercial venture. But if making money was the objective, why would I even be on YouTube? Life is not measured in years, or dollars, but deeds of men.
And we began by talking about the decision of many media outlets, including CNN, to pixelate the images of Muhammad.
Now, I know, as well as you do, that you have not done that in order to avoid sparing the hurt feelings of my fellow guest. You've done it because you're afraid of retaliation and of intimidation.
Well, you know what I mean. Deeds of people. Addressing dogma is necessary for stopping society from regressing. There is no point in building an ivory tower from the summation of the knowledge of mankind, an ivory tower capable of seeing the unknown, if while you were doing it, religious thoughts have undermined the very foundations of that tower and replaced it with the shifting sands of dogma. Addressing dogma is divisive, whether it's about teaching creationism in schools or respecting Islamic laws. And yes, undertaking this task has brought me haters and haters and haters.
Like, do you not like the fact I make all these images of you looking, these funny images, you know, that I make all these videos with these funny images of you, these drawing like making you look like a terrorist? Do you not like that? Does that get on your nerves a lot, does it?
Such are the slings and arrows you must inevitably suffer if you're going to brace yourself to the task of vocally addressing dogma on an open forum like this. But the reality check is, addressing dogma is not a commercial venture. Indeed, it arguably makes you toxic as a commercial venture, and I sincerely thank all of those who have thus far supported or continue to support this channel. If this channel is to have a future, one in which I can afford the time necessary to make this channel a success in an increasingly competitive environment and on a non-level playing field, one which I stress I'm going to do my damn best one way or the other to realize, you were the first to enable it.